Hi friends, welcome to Kids, Chaos, and Coffee, the podcast that brews up parenting wisdom, relatable stories, and a caffeine kick. I'm your host, Kirsten Nichols, and I have over 12 years experience in child development, mentoring thousands of kids in after-school and summer camp programs. Without further ado, let's jump into today's episode. I'm here with Dani and Regan.
Hi.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about different kids' hobbies and sports activities and different things the kiddos can do and maybe some stuff we can do with the kids.
Yep, perfect.
Yep. But real quick, before we do that, let's do a quick little intro about yourself and your background.
Okay.
Cool. Dani?
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Dani. I am a director at an after-school program. So I would say I have that experience with kids. I don't have any kids of my own, but I'm kind of the cool aunt in the podcast, so I can give my insight from that. I also was an elementary education major for 3 years, so I have some experience in the public school system being around kids, and I also subbed in the school system, so I also have that experience. But
Cool. Sweet. Miss Regan?
And I have two kids, 10 and 5, Jackson and Ollie. And I work in an after-school program, and I have subbed, I have been a nanny, I've worked for other summer camps, and all sorts of childcare options. So not only do I have my own, but I've been with a couple thousand other kiddos.
Sweet. All right, let's do a coffee check real quick. What are you drinking today, Dani?
my favorite part. I got 7 Brew. I got a caramel macchiato with extra caramel.
Nice.
It's very good.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I'm drinking Shadrack's. It's a local brand. I'm doing the iced Kahlua kicker today, so
Of course.
it's my favorite.
The huge.
I know.
And the usual, I have my own black coffee from home because I'm boring.
Love
And
it.
it's black, right?
And it's black.
Yeah,
Yes.
Straight black.
It's a little cold now, but it's okay.
Gives it flavor.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Cold is a flavor, I think.
Y'all.
Adds a little spice.
I was telling her earlier today that I actually was gonna bring coffee from home, and I didn't have any creamer, so it wasn't gonna be black because it was like a medium roast. I poured it out because I just can't do that.
There's no way.
And so then I went to Shadrack's.
Yeah, no. I get flavored coffee pods. It's like cinnamon and vanilla, but I still have to put a total creamer in it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I just can't do the black.
I know, so I'm gonna have
It's
to buy
just
some
me.
creamer.
Yeah.
Gotta buy the creamer.
Yeah.
You do.
You should bring some here.
Oh,
That's
that's
a
a
good
good
idea. We have a fridge.
We do have a fridge.
I think we might have an extra K-cup machine.
I used to, but the one at my house is the one I stole from here, so.
I think we might have an extra.
Alright, y'all, so I feel like, there's obviously a ton of different things that you can get your kids involved in. So I feel like sports is like the obvious thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
absolutely.
wanted us to really like try and focus on maybe the more unique things or the not as thought about. Yeah.
Because not every kid is the same. Not every kid is a sports kid.
For sure. So, I feel like an easy one to start with would be different groups or clubs you could get your kids involved in. Rollo's my kid. He's 4 right now. So he's a little young, so we haven't done a whole lot of that yet. But I've definitely looked into different things. So I've looked into like 4-H.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
You have done that?
I haven't done it, but we had it at my school.
See, we didn't really have anything like that.
I did a few things with it because we would have like different projects in elementary school that would kind of like tie in with 4-H.
Yeah.
And then we went to like this warehouse that had, I don't know what it's called. It's a warehouse that has like they do like the horseback riding and the buffalo things. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Do they have this here?
No.
It's called, hold on, buffalo?
Like a real
Like,
an animal?
Like the real buffalo.
Cows?
yeah, like.
Cows.
Okay. Anyways, it was this big warehouse, and it's where they had like all the 4-H stuff, and we would go on like field trips to that building.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was really cool, and like I really liked it. You could also be a part of the club. I wasn't part of the club, but it was really interesting.
That's awesome.
So I know that at least the 4-H here, there's like a Facebook group, and I've already joined it, so I like kind of see what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I've never like done anything with them yet.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking when he's a little older, we might.
They're like agricultural based.
They do a bunch of stuff. Like, I know they do a lot of ag stuff, like you can get involved with the animals and show animals.
Yes.
It's really cool.
And I know there's a lot of things with plants as well.
Which is cool.
Yes.
Because I kill plants all the time, so we can get the boys to learn how to do things.
Don't follow in your footsteps.
Please don't.
I'm not sure anything else really about 4-H, but hopefully I'll learn some more. Because that seems like a cool program that I kind of wish I had done.
I know, right?
Yeah,
But
it was cool.
yeah.
My cousin did 4-H growing up. She did the horse side of it. She had a little friend, and they were both in that. And so I think
That's
they
cool.
showed a few little goats too. Like
Probably. I think they show a bunch of different
they
animals.
do. And I think she got sad because a lot of times when you show the animals, they get sold for,
Yeah.
to not be animals anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And
Aw.
Multi-purpose.
products.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes, it's helpful. And I think that made her a little sad, so she
Yeah.
stuck to had like little riding competitions and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I think they do like chickens, pigs,
Yeah.
goats, sheep, cows.
Yeah, cows are
Yeah.
I think that's what I
Cows.
mixed in with buffalo.
No.
We're
Well, they
keeping
have,
that in there.
Yes, absolutely.
So, everybody's like, what is she talking
Buffalo.
about?
The buffalo.
The buffaloes
The kangaroo.
The buffaloes.
Oh god.
Okay. Anyways, besides 4-H, I know there's some other stuff. I know here at least it's called the Forest Friends.
I've heard about that. There's one
Yes,
thing
I
she
have been a little
recommended
bit involved with them. I want to be more involved, but busy schedules.
too. Yes.
We went on like a hike with them.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's basically just like a time for the moms to all get together and like chat, hang out, and then of course the kids get together. And it's like all ages. Well, I don't want to say all ages, but like
Yeah.
I've seen 1-year-olds that are like barely walking to like 10, 12-year-olds, and like they're all kind of just basically playing in nature. They're literally like finding caterpillars and like just whatever, running through the trails. It's pretty cool.
And then you're not the only mom letting their kid play in the dirt.
Exactly, and it's like
Which is huge.
encouraged.
Yes.
Please play.
But they're out in nature, they're not in front of
Yeah.
a screen or whatever, so that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's other local groups like all across the country that do things
Oh, yeah.
like that. But
Absolutely.
yeah, it was just a couple moms here that like started it,
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah. And then I know there's like the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
I did Girl Scouts when I was younger for a couple years until there was a scandal, but it's a different story.
Let us know if you'd like to
Different
tell
day.
a story about the scandal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's things like that. I know Boy Scouts is still really big.
Oh, yeah.
And Girl Scouts. Did y'all do either of those?
I did not.
No.
not. I mean, I did Girl Scouts for like a month,
What?
and then it was just
There was a scandal. Huh?
no. There wasn't a scandal. There was my mom
There was
didn't
a
want me
scandal.
to go to like camping trips and like all
Oh.
the other stuff.
Yeah.
She just wasn't comfortable with all that.
Gotcha.
wouldn't have-
So-
yeah, I wanted to do that. I
She didn't want to go with you?
She didn't. No. Oh my gosh. No. My mom is an indoor mom.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah.
bless.
Yes.
It's okay. Nothing
It's
wrong
fine.
with that.
Yeah. No. Well, she lives at the farm now, and so she's like really conflicted.
It just took her a while
It just
to
took
get
her
to
a while.
that point.
No, no, she's still like not happy about it. But
Oh.
She's more
everything-
open.
There's
Yeah.
gravel. There's been spraying
For
for
sure.
ticks and bugs, and
Yeah.
and she made indoor-outdoor spaces.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like the windows that like open up outside, but there's still like screens,
Yeah.
so you
Like
can
a
experience the
a
wind and the
screened-in
breeze. Yeah, it's like a
area,
screened-in area,
or sunroom.
but fully like made.
Yeah.
So it's really
Good for
cool.
plants.
It's kind of metal, but it's like
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I see church groups on
Okay.
here. I was really involved in my church when I was little.
Really?
And I think churches, even if you aren't religious, I think
Yeah.
it's still like a great area and community to get your kids involved.
Yeah,
Because a lot of
for
times
sure.
they have like festivals or events
Yeah.
that aren't really involved with the church, but like they host
Yeah.
them at the church. And so I think that's a good place to look for like activities for your kids. For
Yeah.
sure. Like we always did VBS growing up. That was super fun.
That's always fun for the kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Like there's a little bit of church stuff, but it's nothing like crazy.
Yeah. But they
I
play
always
games
loved
and
going to-
stuff too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like, it's super fun. And like especially around the holidays, like fall festivals, church or Christmas, Christmas things, Christmas festivals, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, Friday we went with one of my son, Jackson Houston, to a Nerf nachos and Nerf wars.
Oh,
Which was
cute.
Super cute. It was so fun. There was a church element to it, a little devotional, I guess.
Yeah.
It wasn't really sermon. It was like 30 minutes long. And then just the kids played, so it was really
That's
great. There was
cool.
like 100 people there probably.
Oh, wow.
So it was really nice, like for him to be able to run around and play with kids, and then his
Right.
little buddy
it's a
was
good
there.
safe
It's a good, safe
like,
environment.
community. Like
and
you
then
feel
Yes.
good going
yeah.
there, like bringing your kids there.
And then then also it's nice because it has a set start time and a set end time, and so you
Yes.
don't have to worry about the whole, okay, we gotta go now, Like, it's like, okay, hey, look, everybody's leaving, it's time to go.
It's over.
So, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say with the church stuff, for me when I was younger, like a teenager, I guess, that was a really good,
Yeah, I did that when I was a teen too.
yeah, like, cause it's hard to be a teen anyways, so it's like nice to have a group of people that, for the most part, I feel like the youth groups or whatever you call them, like, are pretty supportive of each other.
Yeah.
No, you didn't have a good
I did
experience.
not have a good experience
Oh.
in my youth group, but that's a story
Oh.
for another day.
Well, maybe you didn't
It
find
was-
the right one.
It was not the right one, and
Yeah.
yeah. When I was little, I had good experiences,
Yeah.
but as I got older and like I moved to Kentucky,
Really.
I had a really bad
Yeah.
See, I feel like I had really good, like the adults that led it to were
Yeah.
really good for me.
Yeah.
Because that was like a hard time in my life,
Yeah.
and so that they were kind of like there for me. So.
I think there are a lot of good ones, but the dude got fired that led mine.
Oh.
That tells you
So
something.
they're yeah.
Oh.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a story for later.
But most of the time, yeah, I feel like they're good support, especially for teens, because teens are going through it.
Teens,
Yes, they
it's-
are.
It's so hard for teens. I always
Yeah.
feel so bad for them.
Yes.
They're trying to learn so much and given so much freedom and then none at the same time.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
I'm not looking forward to that stage, and I'm so close.
Yeah.
We're so
we're
close
getting
to that.
there. Yeah, and then if your kids are homeschooled, like Rolo probably will be one day.
Yeah.
You got the homeschool co-ops. Some of them are religious. Okay, so you don't know what a co-op is.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what that is.
Okay, so basically, like, a co-op is, they can be religious or like secular, either way. They're like a group of people that come together, and they're all homeschool families and kids, but they usually they have different, almost like classes. So like they'll come together on like a Monday, and they'll have a math class all together, and then they might do like karate as their PE or
So
whatever.
it's a good way to like socialize the kids.
Yeah, so they're like socializing.
Yes.
They do different activities, and they do outings and stuff too. Like they'll just go to the park, and they go on field trips. Some of them.
Okay.
Depends on the co-op, of course.
Right.
But like I know there's one here in town, and like
There's a couple of good ones.
they do field trips, and I actually think they have sports teams even.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like they're homeschoolers,
Yeah.
so they don't meet every day, and it's not all
Right.
day. It's just like once or twice a week during
That's
certain
so-
times of the year.
Yeah.
And it's good too because if you aren't good at math, but the family next door, or so to speak in the co-op,
Yeah.
is really good at math, you guys
Right.
can trade off, and you're good at writing papers and kind
Right.
of share the skills that way. So you're not just sitting there bashing your head against the wall and like I don't know anything besides 2 + 2 is 4.
Right.
So
But I feel like a big part of it is the socialization, and
Yeah,
because
for sure.
homeschooling, it could be very lonely if you're
Yes.
just
a
literally
bad
sitting
rep.
at home. What?
So it has a bad rep. I feel
Yeah,
like.
I feel like it's getting
Yes.
better,
Yeah.
but it did have a bad rep for a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Well,
so it's for other homeschool parents to meet each other. They can bounce ideas off each other, but also the kids are getting to play
Yeah.
together.
That's
Yes.
cool.
For sure.
yes, I think it's definitely a healthier way to do it. So when we first moved here, we used the library, and in the
Yes.
summer and in the spring they had all these events because when we moved here, Ollie was not in school, so he had just turned 4 and he didn't start pre-K until the following. We were here in the spring. He started pre-K in the fall, and so we were at the library at least twice a week. They
Yeah.
had little reading sessions. They had other little games.
They do all kinds
They
of
had,
stuff.
Oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Especially stuff like in the morning. Like I saw something
Yes.
recently on Facebook about the local library, and they've got something every single day, like from
Mhm.
like 9 in the morning
For
to like,
adults, even.
Yeah.
Yes, they have like exercise classes for adults, and
They
of
have a
course,
karate class.
Yeah, they've got
Really?
like
Yeah.
Zumba. They have all
I love
sorts of
that.
stuff. Like our library is, I mean, phenomenal.
Yeah, they do. I don't remember if it's crocheting or knitting. Like,
Yeah.
they literally do.
Yeah.
They have
do
something
everything.
for like all. Oh, they have a. My cousin was telling me about something. She went to it at
Yeah.
the public library. It was a is it genealogy? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
And they were teaching them like how to like look up
That's
their family trees and stuff. Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
crazy.
yeah, they do all kinds of stuff there.
They are amazing.
They do so much for
Amazing.
kids though. They do so
They
much
do.
for the community really, and it's
Yeah,
all
they do.
free.
It's all free.
It is,
Every
yeah.
single thing.
We're
I
always
think there were
at
a couple things that were like $1, but it was because
Like
it
a
was
dollar.
extra.
$1, like in the
I
grocery
feel
store.
like-
Where else can you go and do
No.
something for
For
a dollar?
Like they had a Dragon Loves Tacos event, and I think you had to
What is that? Is that a book?
It's a book.
Oh, okay.
It's actually on the shelf. I was gonna ask if I could read that one.
Okay. I have not read it, but I have seen it.
We can do a
I
library.
have a lot of
talk
books,
about
y'all.
That one you should
No,
remember.
okay, so this is like kind of off topic, sorry, but so you know you can sign your kids up for the Dolly Parton thing?
Yes.
Imagine, I forget what it's called.
It's
The Imagination thing,
Yes.
and you get a book every month until your kid turns 5.
Yeah.
So I think that book came from there.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was like,
It's-
because we get books a lot.
No, never mind.
But what they did is they had a guest reader come in and read the story to everybody, and then they served tacos
Oh,
at the end.
I love
Like,
that.
it was super cute. Like,
oh,
it was super precious. And
Yeah.
so, like, everybody got a couple tacos, and then there were
I
all
love
sorts
the
of vendors
library.
around as well.
the library does a ton of stuff. So I would look at your local library.
Yeah.
Man, there's so much
There's
going
so
on.
much
We were at the library probably every day when I was a kid.
Yeah, and even the small ones, small branches have stuff going on,
Yes, they do.
which is really cool.
And in the summers too, like I can't speak for every library, but at least ours, they really go hard for
Oh my
kids stuff in the
gosh.
summer.
Yeah,
like
it's
they bring in
awesome.
like magicians, and
Yes!
animals, like
crazy.
reptiles, and I don't know, like just like crazy
They had
animals.
one that was really cool when we were gone on our trip this summer, and I can't remember what it was, but my boys were so upset that we missed
Oh.
it. Like, it was something really cool. I think
Yeah.
there was, it may have been the week the magician was there, and some like reptile exhibition or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a cool one.
Yeah, I've seen several of those. We used to take the summer camp kids
Yeah.
to some of this
Oh,
stuff.
that's fun.
Yeah, we have in the past. So just scheduling wise has to work
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But anyways, back into local library. They put on a bunch of different things, but then, you know, I would also just look at your city. I know at least here, they're always putting on little free events. And sometimes it's in sponsorship with the library, and other times it's their own kid festival or fall festivals or whatever it may be.
We just had, how many fall festivals this weekend?
Oh my
In
gosh.
one weekend, like
78.
Like
5 in
100?
one
It feels
weekend.
like
But yeah, especially if you have a downtown, like I know back in my hometown, we always had stuff going on. Like they would bring
Main
like a
Street.
big projector, and they would have like a kids' night in our
Yes.
downtown,
Mhm.
and it was so cute. They'd have like popcorn, and they play kids' movies.
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
super cute.
Yeah.
There's so many things to do.
Somebody
You just
found
gotta
this.
look around,
You
you
do.
know.
You
And
gotta
I'm
get
sure
on
if you live in a
Facebook.
Yeah.
super small place, you might have to go over to like the next
Yeah.
bigger town,
Yeah.
but usually it's not too far off.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'd say if there is nothing going on, maybe you should start something in your
Yes.
area.
No,
Because
really.
It's a need. It's a huge need.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I did think of,
Yeah.
going back to groups and clubs, which I don't
Yeah.
really know if it's a group or a club, but
Mhm.
obviously not me, but my mom, she was a single mom, and it was a group called MOPS. Have y'all ever heard of that?
Yes.
Yes.
She was a part of the MOPS group.
There used
and
to
it
be one
was-
here, but I don't think there is anymore.
I don't even know if they're still a thing.
No, they
but
are.
Yeah, they
she's
sure
like
are.
still friends with all of those moms that she met in that
Yes,
group.
that's cool.
And it was, I don't think it was just for single moms, but
No,
it was,
it's not.
yeah.
It's true.
But she met like so many of her friends through that, and I know that she like really felt supported through that group, and so they would go to like our church, but then also go to like Starbucks or Barnes and Noble or
Yeah.
a park,
Yes.
and like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just
But if
hang
you have
out.
a MOPS group, just hang out, and it was great for her to make friends, and then me and my sister also made a lot of friends through that group as well. So,
That's cool.
So
yeah, that just
Yeah.
popped in my head.
Yeah, I think there used to be one here, and it's not
I
active
haven't
anymore.
heard of it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great way. I mean, just like anything with your kids, you need to find like-minded people
Yeah.
who share the same
We're in the
interests.
same
and that's how you make
situation,
friends.
yeah.
Yep.
And that's
And
just
we all know it's, especially as moms, it's kind of hard to make.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
nearly impossible. It feels
Yeah.
like it because you're tired from being a mom, and the last thing you want to do sometimes is go and interact. You're like,
Exactly.
Yes.
okay, I could take my child to this event, or we can play at home, and while they play, I can get everything else done.
Yeah, and it's hard to have
It's-
friends that aren't moms. I feel
Yes.
like once you become a mom,
It's impossible.
I mean, I know I went through like definitely a transition.
Yes.
I'm excited
Because-
to become a mom to have mom friends.
You already know a couple.
Yeah, you know a
I
couple.
know I have you guys.
You already have a
but
head
I don't have
start.
a kid yet. So.
You already have a head start because when I had Rolo, I didn't know anybody.
Same.
I was, I guess, the first one out of all my friends to be pregnant and have a kid.
That's it.
And so you kind of become like alienated very quickly
do.
because all of a sudden you're in like a different phase in your life. They
Yeah.
can't really relate to you. You can't relate to them anymore.
Yeah.
And so then you kind of, at least for me, I inevitably like drifted apart.
Yeah.
And then some of those friends have drifted back like once they became moms.
Right.
But it was like it took them being a mom for that to happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so isolating.
Yeah.
It can be because I was the same thing. We were the first ones. Our friend group, we're still all friends. So it wasn't as bad. However, it feels worse. You're like, oh, can you come out tonight? I'm like, oh, no.
Nope.
Sure can. James has basketball.
Yeah,
My
it'll never
husband's a
be.
basketball coach. And so Friday night, someone would have my friend is a musician, and so she plays gigs
cool.
all the time. And so I'm playing tonight. I'm like, I wish you could be there. And you're sitting home, and you're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
awful.
Last
That's
minute
so
plans become
Oh my
impossible.
gosh,
You
they're
can't
so
do that.
impossible.
I'll tell you, like, that was one thing
Yeah.
that was hard for me in the
That was the
beginning.
hardest
Was
thing.
like, I called it my freedom. I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
right word.
Yeah.
But like, I felt like my freedom was gone in a sense because like, you know, when you don't have kids, you can just like run out the door and
Yep.
go to Target, and it's no problem, and you can literally just throw your shoes
Yeah.
on and you're out the door. But like,
Right.
when you know when you have that kid, it's
Give yourself an hour to get everything
Yeah.
ready.
is it almost their well that too, but also
Yeah.
like, are they about to take their nap?
Right, yeah, you gotta
Like
plan
you just have to
everything around
plan
it.
things way more.
Because you
It's
miss
not
the
as
first
easy to
couple
just
naps,
run
and you're
out.
like, oh no, I'm never doing that
Never
again.
doing that again.
Never again. Oof.
But yeah.
Makes
So.
me excited.
It's just
so
a reality.
excited.
It's
But-
not bad. It's just adjustments.
Right.
And then I always feel like I go too negative because I'm like, hey, keep in mind about this. These things that I thought I was prepared for was not at all.
I didn't think I was prepared for it at all.
I don't think
Oh,
you
I
can
thought I
be.
was. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
I thought I
gosh,
was
no.
like,
The whole time I was pregnant, I was freaking out. I was like, I don't know what's
Oh
happening.
yeah, for sure.
I was like, this is great. Got this.
Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah. We got off track, but that's
We did.
okay.
Back to free events.
Back to some free events. Another good free event, Home Depot.
Yes.
The Home Depot.
Yes.
Good old Home Depot. You've actually done it, right?
It's been a while, but yes.
I've never done it, so we tell.
Yeah,
us
so
about it.
it's basically a 4-hour event because they have lots of kids. It depends on the
4
activity.
hours.
The
Okay.
one we had was.
Okay.
But it was like a whole bunch of kids going through.
If you're a kid.
And it
You
was
don't have to
like,
stay the whole time.
yeah, you don't stay the whole time.
Oh, okay,
It was
okay.
like offered for 4
Thought you
hours.
meant the kids
and so like the
did it
events
for
are
4
like
hours.
No.
9 and into 12. And so you would go in and they had like the little kits all set up.
Yeah.
And I think we went on planting one where they made like they planted something.
Oh, I love that.
So got
Yeah.
to decorate the little pot and
Rolla
pick
loves
it
to
out.
do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they kind of showed them, kind of told them a little bit about everything, and then sent them on their way.
Yeah.
Cute. And
That's
then
cool. And it's free, right?
It's free.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's so cute.
And I think they do it once a month.
Once a month, you have
Yeah.
to check your schedule. 'Cause it's usually like either the first or third Saturday of the month, depending
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
on where you are.
Yeah.
And
sure.
because I know in Tampa it was on different days than it was in North Carolina. So,
Right.
cool. Yeah, so it was cool.
And I guess another free thing that's always free, guys, is nature.
Yeah.
So
Your own backyard.
going on a hike,
You
I
can.
love
going to the parks,
Yeah.
Yes.
any of that stuff. Because I don't know, I think it's great. The more they're outside, I think the better.
The better it is for everybody because they blow off steam. They're using their little bodies to run around.
Exactly.
It's just so
Just
good
being
fun.
out in nature is
And
just
it
nice.
is.
Touch on vitamin D.
It's great. Yes. And I know in North Carolina, the school playgrounds were always open on the weekends. I don't know what the rules are here. I'm assuming it's the same.
I don't know
Just
if there is a
because it's-
rule, but I think most of them you can get into.
Yeah.
As long as
That
it's
was always so
always
fun. Right.
I've never really. I guess there's a
Never
couple
tried.
that locked. I've been
Yeah.
to some that I could get in. And
Yeah.
I don't know if this
Yeah.
should be.
I don't know if you're supposed to or not, but like I
don't
know
know if
North
that's
Carolina,
okay,
like,
but-
it was
Might be
in
illegal.
Raleigh, like they were all open, so you see kids
Yeah.
playing, and they have some really
Yeah.
great playgrounds.
That's cool.
And then like here we have Craighead Forest.
Oh wait, there's a lot of playgrounds here.
Yeah.
Have you been to all of them?
I have not.
Yeah, it's over not on the north side of town. Maybe that's wrong, but like kind of over by the public library over there.
Okay.
There's a park. I can't think what it's called, but it's a nice one. Kind of area's a little sketchy,
Yeah.
but the playground
Playground's
is
awesome.
nice. Yeah. Not the best I've ever seen, but it is good.
Hey,
Good for the circumstances.
anything for climbing, running around, it's great.
It has one of those almost like a zip line thing.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's like a good one.
Yeah.
Like a big one, not like a little bitty one. So
We have
good.
Connected between two trees.
No.
This like a standalone thing, kind of like how
Yeah.
like monkey bars are, but instead of having like
It's
the
like
bars,
a handle,
it's like
and
Yeah,
it's on a
slide
track,
Oh.
and you just slide down.
Oh.
But it's like
Oh.
that one is probably the size of, or like
Yeah.
the length of this room,
Oh, okay.
and you just hang on and just zip across.
Oh, love that.
Yeah,
Never seen it, but that was cool.
yeah, it's cool.
Speaking of arts and crafts, when I was so me and my sister took an art class at an art guild or like an art club,
Okay.
But the teacher was our high school art teacher. And he taught, and he's also like the dad of like one of my like really good friends.
Yeah.
And he taught the art class, and me and my sister like got to do it over the summer, and we built like a whole portfolio.
Oh, wow.
And we took like
That's so
art
neat.
like final at the end. It was so cool. And it was like an art club like for adults, and he also taught.
Come back.
You're good?
Sorry, we just started. We were like not sure how long you'd be.
You literally just started.
Honestly. Hey.
But anyway, that's
Regan's
another
back.
cool thing.
Yay.
Yeah. If you're interested in art,
Wait, so you had to do a final? Like it was a test
it wasn't a test, but
or
like
project?
it was like a final project
Got it.
for our portfolio.
Yeah.
Nice.
And like I still have like everything. Like it was so cool.
That's cool.
And I felt like a whole artist. So like
Yeah.
if your kid's interested in art, like it's a good way to like introduce them.
Yes.
So like I'm sure if you have like an art club or like an art guild or something, I'm sure
Mhm.
they offer that for
Is guild just another word for club?
I think so.
Okay.
kind of, but they also
Is that
had
more?
I don't know.
it was like kind of fancy. Like you could go in and like look at the art that
Like
the
an
art
exhibit?
club made. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything crazy because it was like the
Yeah.
local
Okay.
people.
All right.
But also ask your art teacher if they want to do that for kids because it was really really cool.
How neat.
And I don't know if we had to pay for it. I'm assuming we did, but I don't think it was
Probably.
expensive. And it was just like a little class over the summer. It was really cool.
That is
I was
cool.
like,
I was always in art club in high school, but I didn't do anything when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah.
I did it when I was younger. I didn't have to when I grew up, but I wasn't that great at it. But it was fun.
Oh wow. Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, okay. So we already mentioned, obviously everybody knows like your normal sports. So, but then there's a handful that I feel like are not necessarily your typical sports.
Yep.
I think you know one of them pretty
I
well.
do. Horseback riding is an expensive hobby,
Yeah.
but it's also really great. So I don't spend a lot on it,
Yeah.
just because I do have 2 horses. I have not done anything with them all summer, but they come up to me and I go and brush them, and they're my little 4-legged BFFs.
Cute.
Walk out into the pasture, and they like come up to me, brush them down, and then we kind of walk around for a little bit.
Yeah.
And, I did get into Mustang rescue, and both my
Into
girls
what?
Mustang rescue.
Oh, okay.
So the wild horses out west.
Yeah.
So both my girls are Mustangs.
Wow.
I did not gentle them, but they were gentled by the woman
I
in
don't know
barn.
what that means.
So gentled. See, this is
I know,
where
I
I
lost
talk over. So when you guys go see horse,
Like you break them in or whatever?
sort of.
Okay.
So gentling is the process where you can, when they come off the wild, they've never been touched by human.
Yeah.
So the gentling process is before the saddling and
Oh,
riding
okay.
process. So gentling counts as being able to take care of their hooves, being able to brush them, being able to handle them.
Gotcha.
So were both your horses rescued?
Yes, so they were both straight off the wild. They have brands. So they're really cool. They're older for horses. Vegas is 20 and
Oh.
Hollywood is 15, 16.
I
around
love the
that.
names.
I know, right? Well, Hollywood was Hannah, and they butchered her mane, and she looked like an orphan Amish schoolgirl, and it was awful. And not that's a bad thing, but you look at her, and it was just like straight across, and
Right.
it was horrendous.
Oh my
And so I was like, Hannah just doesn't suit her.
Yeah.
But I like age names, and so I was messaging back and forth with my group, and I was like, I like the name Vegas. She's 20. I'm not changing her name. Like, she just, I don't know. I have a thing about with older animals, you just keep them the same name because
Yeah.
they've had good lives.
So can you ride them?
Technically, yes.
Okay. But you don't really.
But I don't have time. I am of the mindset with animals, if you can't do something consistently, it's not fair to the animal to just randomly go out and just
Yeah.
do the same thing and have the same expectations.
Yeah.
Like, I was running a 5K in about 30 minutes back in the spring. I haven't run in 6 months.
Girl, I can
So-
tell you last time I ran.
Right. So
Not a
it's
day
like,
in my life.
I couldn't go run a 5K right now. Like, if I have that expectation for me, I shouldn't have that for my animals.
I think I could. I think I'd struggle through it.
Oh, I would die. I would
Yeah, like,
absolutely.
I could
would
do
be-
it. I'd survive.
The last
2
I wouldn't
minutes.
thrive.
No, I would not thrive. It would be
Crawling towards the finish line.
Yeah, just be running and crying, holding your legs. Everything's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's bad.
Gotcha.
So, but I also, took lessons back in the fall. I am, for any sort of activity like this, you need to do all aspects of it. You can't just go, in my opinion,
Mhm.
to a barn and take a riding lesson once a week and expect to be good at it.
Right.
I make my kids, because both the kids like riding, when they do lessons, they have to clean the stall, they have to completely get the horse ready, get the tack out, do everything.
I think that's so good for them though.
It really is.
Yes.
It's responsibility.
Yeah.
You have to go and learn, and because horses aren't cars, like
Right.
they're not, and they're also not dogs. Now, I say that, and if you see me with my horses, you would think I treat them like dogs because I'm in their face, I'm all over them, but I would be like, don't you do that to anybody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So it's just, animals are living, breathing, functioning creatures that, you have to give respect to, and so
For
it's just more than that. So I a lot on my horse, or like a lot of money on horseback riding, because I go and volunteer. I work with rescues. I do everything I can to make it as wallet friendly
Yeah.
as possible,
Mhm. Yeah.
with getting in actual like learning like
On
the
a budget.
real like pieces of it. Yes, on the
For
budget.
sure.
So like, I mean, A-State, there's a way you can volunteer with them. I haven't figured it out yet, but they're more of a show and like
With the horses?
Mhm.
You should ask Shara. She's
I
involved
need
with
to ask
their
her because they're boarding.
farm.
Farm,
Yeah,
yeah.
the farm, yeah.
I need to ask her because I don't have time right now. It's the whole thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But like with the woman that helped me get the 2 horses that I have, I volunteered every Sunday, and then I could come out whenever I wanted to. And I helped her with a couple of Mustangs, and got to ride. We went on trail rides all the time, and I didn't spend a dime, but it was because
Cool.
I elbows,
Mm,
works,
yeah.
and all that good stuff. And then also switching from horses, my kids have done weird stuff.
Uh-huh.
So like Jackson has done archery, and actually both boys have done archery, which is something I never thought about. But my husband found it through our Craighead County, was the little Parks and Rec.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
So they have tons of weird
That's so neat.
stuff that's just like not your normal sports, because like both my boys are not normal sports.
I think
boys.
it's growing in popularity, but
It
it wasn't
is.
around like when I was younger.
Same.
I don't know if I would have done it or not, but like
I
it wasn't
would've.
even an option.
We had an archery team at my school, so
Yeah.
if your kids like try to do like a park or recreation like that,
Right.
and they like to do it, they
Yeah.
will continue to do it.
Well, and you
So
know
some
the
schools
cool
might have to.
the cool thing about archery too is that's like a skill that
Yeah.
they can take into adulthood if they're
It is.
interested in like bow hunting or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, and it's so good for them because it requires so much concentration.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
not something that you can just pick up and do,
Right.
which was frustrating but also very beneficial for Jackson, my 10-year-old. He just, he's seen Power Rangers and other movies and stuff where they just like pick up the bow and they
Yeah.
pull it back and it's like bullseye.
Yeah, perfect.
And then he tried it and it went straight to the ground. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trial and error. So then he like sat and worked, and he was not great, but he put in work and he's getting better than when he started.
For
So
sure.
we're hoping he'll kind of keep up and maybe keep trying it
Right.
Yeah.
in the spring and stuff.
So that leads me into my favorite non-traditional sport, karate.
Yes.
I'm a little biased, if you can't tell.
Um,
Yeah, I've done karate since I was 6 years old, and I have my 4th degree black belt now. But I think it is good for all kids. Like, there's so many skills you can learn from it too. Like, the biggest one, I guess, is not even like physical, but like, just like respect that kids learn within it. Because like we're always harping, yes ma'am, no sir. Like, bowing is a form of respect.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've had so many kids come in, do classes, and like a year later, you can, as far as the physical stuff, you can see their balance is better,
Yeah.
or they've got more. I've had kids come in that like have real issues, like they have low muscle tone or things like that, and you can just really tell the difference. Or it's even good for kids with like behavioral issues, ADHD and stuff like that. We have so many kids. I mean, just in general nowadays, I feel like, but especially in our classes, they come in and they've got their ADHD, and they're a little wild in the beginning, but then 6 months, a year into the program, they're a whole different kid.
Oh, yeah.
And the parents will come up and tell you, but like, I already know, I see it every day. But I think karate is good for all kids. I don't think, if it's not really their thing, I wouldn't say like do it forever, like and you got to get your black belt. I don't think that necessarily, but I do think at some point in every kid's life, it's a great activity to be exposed to. There's just so much you can get from it. for sure. I'm a little biased on that one. That's one I'll always push for.
Well, I've got my bias on horseback riding. You've got your bias for karate. Dani, do you have a bias for a weird or normal sport? I hate to say normal, but
I don't have anything that's non-traditional that I
That's okay.
that's okay.
like. I didn't really. The only sport that I guess I would be biased about is volleyball.
It doesn't have to be a
okay.
sport. It
Yeah.
could be an activity or
Yeah.
anything, really. Because, I mean, just stuff for kids to be involved in.
I guess I could be biased about putting your kid in an after-school program
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
because I feel
I
like
mean-
it is very beneficial. Because I am a director in an after-school
Yeah.
program, so I see every day how it helps kids,
Yeah.
how it like brings kids out of their comfort zone, the socialization of it. Especially if you have kids that have any kind of like issues or mental
Yeah.
disabilities or anything like that. I think it really helps kids get out of their comfort zone, and it's a great way to introduce kids to sports or activities.
At least in our program, it is.
Yeah,
Not
'cause
all
we-
programs
yeah.
are like ours.
If you put your kid in a sports-based program, which
Yes.
we are, but yeah, you can kind of test it out and see if they like certain things. But I think it's definitely great for socialization. It's great for parents because you get some alone time, or you don't get off work, obviously, but it's great exposure, I think, for
Yeah.
kids.
And I mean, I know most people listening probably won't. They're not familiar with our program.
Yeah.
But we're a very structured program, and every day is like a different sport and a different activity.
Yeah.
We're not like your normal school-run
Not a
program.
daycare.
We're not a daycare.
Yeah.
No.
We're not just throwing them in a gym and, all right,
Let
don't
them
kill
do
each
it.
other, guys. Like,
Yes.
it's very structured, and they're learning skills, and they're
Yeah.
introduced to a bunch of sports that maybe they wouldn't have ever tried otherwise.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think that is huge, and I do think it's a big deal because, like, I didn't have, I would say, privilege to do after-school programs
Yeah.
as a kid. I just went home and I sat on my couch and I ate a snack and I just did nothing, you
Yeah.
know? And I wish I had done something like this.
Yeah.
Wish I had been able to make new friends and have the coaches as mentors and
Yeah.
other adults to lean on. But, I mean, yeah, I didn't have that, and I think it's,
It's very important.
for sure. I
Especially
think it's a
to
big deal.
Safe mentors. Because our
Yes.
coaches are so great.
Yeah.
And like, not just saying that, but kids a lot of times, especially if they have kind of a rocky home life, they need someone who is always there and always stable,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and who they can feel like they can trust and talk to. And we see that in the kids that cling on to the coaches,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
they have their favorites.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
speaks wonders to the coaches.
For sure. Yeah, and it's just good for them to be active because some of these kids, this might be their only physical activity they
Yeah.
have per se. Otherwise they may be at home playing on their Xbox and that's about it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Um,
Jackson doesn't get to play on his computer unless he does stuff here. So he would
Yeah.
much rather. He's my
Yeah.
non-sporty kid, and he
Yeah.
would much rather go home and play
Yeah.
on his tablet and stuff. So this is a great way to keep time going where he doesn't have access to that. And Jackson has fun. He never says he does, but he does every single day. Oh my gosh.
I see it. I know he does. I
Oh,
know
I-
he's
I
made
watch it.
friends.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's tons of friends,
Yeah.
which is awesome for him to meet people outside of his school, and it is. We have to teach them moderation because we have to teach
Yes.
them how to be adults. And if we
Yeah.
limit everything completely, they're going to binge on it after
Yeah.
they leave our homes. But if we teach them how to incorporate the lazy times and the active times in a positive way, they're going to be able to carry those things forward.
So I don't
sure.
think electronics are bad, but how we do it in our after-school program, we call it Kid Cave. So they have to earn and make good decisions and participate to earn the opportunity to be on their electronics or do things like that.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it's a great way to teach them.
And even
To-
then it's in moderation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What you're
they're not
having.
on it the whole time, and if that's something they want to do, they have to earn it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a bad thing, but
Yeah.
No,
there's,
and they're
again,
not
a good
going
balance.
anywhere.
Right.
Like that's a whole conversation we can have
Yeah.
about electronics and
Yes.
whatnot, but
Yeah.
it's
Another
not going
podcast.
anywhere,
Yes.
Yeah, I just gotta learn to control it.
Yes.
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into our Little Lessons in Chaos segment.
Yay.
So this will be our first one. So basically, I'm just gonna read a story. It's from Reddit. I'll tell you that now. Dani and Regan have not heard it yet before, so I'm just gonna read this, and then we're just gonna talk about it, get you guys' feedback, what you think. Alright, so the title is, Should I Be Concerned About My Daughter Visiting Cemeteries as a Hobby?
Oh, fun.
Hmm.
I love this.
I love it
So
already.
let's get into it. It's a little bit long, so let's see. Okay, I have a 20-year-old daughter. In general, she is doing very well. She has been working hard and succeeding in her studies in computer science, and she is doing well at her summer job. She's a kind person who is well-liked and has positive relationships with her family and friends. She has quite a few hobbies, most of which are perfectly normal and not concerning at all. She likes rock climbing, reading, and video games, none of which I have any issue with at all, but there is one hobby that she has taken up recently which I find somewhat strange and a little concerning. She told me she visits cemeteries in her free time. I asked her why she does this, and she said that she finds it fascinating to be near what is left of someone who was alive hundreds of years ago. She has always been interested in history, but I find this a little strange. She also said she likes to take a minute to remember someone who might otherwise be forgotten. I cannot decide if I should be concerned or not. On one hand, this is a very unusual and morbid way to choose to spend time, but on the other hand, I know that she behaves appropriately at the cemeteries and does not disturb anyone. And if she doesn't do anything else that's abnormal or concerning, so I don't want to create an issue if there isn't one.
Well,
Thoughts?
first off, it's her 20-year-old daughter.
I was gonna say she's 20.
She's an adult,
She's
yes.
an adult.
She's a grown child.
Also, I think it's beautiful, especially someone who's interested in history. I am a morbid person myself. I love creepy stories.
I'm a little bit too.
I love all of that stuff. So I think that's actually pretty cool that she's going, especially like the whole thing of like paying someone some sort of respect that.
Right.
Yeah, as long as she's being respectful.
Right.
It sounds like she is.
It sounds like she's So
if you like it, go for it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, my gut reaction when I read this was she does rock climbing and what did she say, reading?
Yeah,
and video games. And rock climbing is very physical
so
if y'all have
hard.
ever done it.
Yeah.
So she has like a very broad range of hobbies, so I think it is completely normal.
I think it's totally fine.
I don't think it's concerning.
They did a great job. She sounds so well rounded.
I know.
I wish I was like that.
There aren't any red flags in her.
And she said there was nothing else. Like, I think if there was like some other weird stuff in there, maybe that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Pentagrams, places, and all that. Like, that might be another Ouija
If she
board in
did
the car.
something else, like, okay, maybe that's a different conversation.
little.
She literally, that's her only thing.
So I think Mama
kinda
needs to
sweet.
take a step back. I
Maybe
think
she
it's super
just-
sweet.
She just thinks it's a quiet place in a very loud world nowadays.
I think so. I think that's really cool, and I think that we are super scared of death. So I think that's probably where Mama is getting a little concerned.
Yeah. I mean, even if it was concerning, I don't know that there's much Mom can do at this point.
She's 20.
She's 20.
So.
That's so
Right.
funny. I like that story though. That is super chaotic.
That's not what I was expecting.
No, but I was like, because it started off, I was like, which way is this going?
I know.
In the cemetery a lot, but then just list off all the other things. I'm like,
Yes.
I hope my kid turns out that well rounded.
I know. I thought it was pretty
Maybe
cool.
we should go visit a cemetery.
We should.
You.
Speaking.
Oh.
Pardon the sirens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It's on a busy road.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. I think totally normal.
I don't have an issue with it.
Mom should be proud.
Mom should be super proud.
So proud.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, she should be. I would, honestly, if either of my kids said they went to a graveyard just to walk around, I'd be like, it would hit me as odd at first.
Yeah.
But then if they explain they just like to go do all those things.
Yeah.
If that's her only concern of her kid, I think she's doing great.
Yeah.
Yes.
For
the
sure.
only issue, only thing she's concerned about,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah.
She's totally fine.
Totally
There's
fine.
so many other things.
Valid.
As long as she's not coming back with new jewelry
Yeah,
or
right.
new
She's fine.
hat wear, she's totally fine.
Maybe, I mean, if you're still concerned, Mom, like, you just, I don't know, you can keep an ear out for
Keep an ear
any
out.
other weird things, but it sounds like she's totally normal.
Yes. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that wraps up our first episode today, y'all.
Love it.
Sweet.
We
Woo.
survived.
All right, guys. I guess that's it for today's first episode. And so you can find this on YouTube and Spotify and all the normal
Anywhere you listen to your
channels.
podcasts.
So subscribe on YouTube, and you can leave us some comments on YouTube and let us know what you'd like to hear in the future.
Yep.
Once we get like our Instagram and everything set up, I'll post the links in the description. And
I think that's it. I think
We're
we're
out.
getting
all right, and we're out.
Bye.
See y'all next time.
Bye.